That'd be nice. A hug would be nice. I haven't hugged in a long time.
Right? Hugs.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's discussion. My name is Cosmo Gazzani. With me today is Michael Rodriguez, who is our backup and data expert. Today, we're going to talk about our most valuable possession as business owners, data, and how we protect it at Continuity Centers. So, Mike, I need to protect my data. How do you guys protect data?
Okay, so we're using an appliance-based solution, right? So you have your data center somewhere, you have your servers somewhere, you have your business somewhere. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be as grand as a data center or as small as one little server, right? We'll put an appliance in place. The appliance then backs up your data locally on site, ships it to us via secure connection and encryption to our data center. We hold on to it in our data center. And then from our data center, we also transport that to object level storage offsite as well to the cloud. We're using several providers for that as well, but everything is encrypted. And we're able to hold on to that for all different kinds of retentions as well.
That brings up a good point. I'm sorry. That brings up a good point. I mean, we have a lot of different compliance customers that have compliance mandates who have to keep their data for extended periods of time. Can you guys do that?
Absolutely. We have clients that can hold on to their data for, some of them are as little as 6 months, up to a year. Most clients are about a year's time. But for those clients that need to be HIPAA compliant, we can go all the way up to 7 years retention. So it all really depends on what the client needs. But we're capable of doing all of the different flavors that are required for the client.
Yeah, excellent. A lot of these backup platform providers talk about RTO, RPO. Can you quickly describe what that means?
Sure. So, it's going to sound like I'm oversimplifying things, and it's probably going to be that way. But I think of it this way. So recovery time objective, which is an RTO, is the amount of time that it's going to take you to get back the data in which you are looking for, right? So from the time that you declare, you let me know, hey, Mike, this is gone, I need it, or my server's down, I need it. Recovery time objective would be from that period to the time that data is fresh and new again, back to square one. That's recovery time objective. RPO, which is recovery point objective, is how far back do we have to go to get that data, right? So if we back that data up, let's say for certain clients, they can go as little as 15-minute increments, right? If we back that data up and offsided it within that 15-minute increment, we can go back to 15 minutes ago, whatever revision you were on. If you're only doing daily backups, which some of our clients are good with as well, we can go back to that night before, which would be your recovery point objective there. So again, depending on the client, depending on what they ask for, we're able to provide multiple RPOs and multiple RTOs.
So, Mike, if I was a customer you were talking to, and I said, hey, I don't really do backups. I don't need to do backups. I'm up in the cloud. I'm protected. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't. The problem here is if you're in the cloud, depending on where you are in the cloud, and most people use Microsoft as an example. Microsoft is not responsible for backing up your data for long periods of time. So your retention is not really going to be what you're looking for, right? So 7/4/12 is your average retention, right? That's 7 dailies, 4 weeklies, 12 monthlies, or a yearly, right? Let's just call it 12 monthlies for now, 7/4/12. Microsoft does not provide that just because you have your data in the cloud. So you need some type of solution in order to get that data out of that cloud and into your own hands. I can tell you this, Cosmo, I am not the type of person that wants all their eggs in one basket. I do not want that. If Microsoft is holding on to my data, I want to be able to feel it and know that I can grab it and put it somewhere and leave it there so that if I need to get to it myself, I don't have to rely on Microsoft to do so. I can do it myself.
Right. And what about things like malicious activity, ransomware, viruses, malware? Um, does backup protect against that?
So it does, right? So let's just use one of those examples, like ransomware, for instance. Okay. So let's say we backed you up last night, and then all of a sudden you have ransomware done today to you. Something happens. A user in your organization opens up a file. Ransomware runs rampant in your organization. That data can get corrupted in the cloud. I know everybody thinks that they're in the cloud and they're protected, but that doesn't necessarily mean that case. Okay. By backing you up, we are able to hold on to that data. The data in the cloud gets corrupted, and we can bring you back again to that RPO we talked about earlier. We can bring you back to that level. Okay. So let's just say, for instance, we backed up that malicious data. Well, each of the pieces of data, each retention point that you use gets air gapped with immutability. And that immutability flag, right? That's that air gap that tells you you can read from this data, but you cannot write, you cannot change that data. And that object storage that we hold on to cannot be changed. So no matter what's going on inside of this guy here telling you, okay, I'm ransomware, I'm going to infect your files, it can't get to this guy because there's an air gap in between. Yeah, so you could still get that back, in other words. That's, just long story short.
So what I'm hearing here, Mike, is that backing up is essential. Do you agree?
Oh, it's downright necessary. And I would argue that point with anybody. It doesn't make sense for you to not have backups. Think about how much you can lose if Microsoft wasn't available to you. If your stuff that's in the cloud is gone, something happens to it. How far back would you have to go to get that data? How much money do you think it's going to cost you to get your data back? You have no idea. But if you're in control of it on your own, you can tell me that right off the bat. You can say, I could bring that data back like this, and you're done. So, yeah. It's very important.
Yeah, and it's not just backing up the hardware. I mean, the data is constantly under attack, and that's why these hackers and these malicious actors out there are looking to steal it all the time, because it is that valuable. Mike, always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for the informative session. We look forward to seeing you guys real soon again, and have a great day.
Have yourself a good day. See you soon.